Good evening. I'm Belva Davis, and welcome to This Week in Northern California. California now has the second highest unemployment rate in the nation at 12%, just behind Nevada at 12.9%. Earlier today, I spoke with Silicon Valley Congressman Mike Honda about what Washington lawmakers can do to get people back to work. Congressman, you're on the Budget Committee in Washington. You're also chair of the Progressive Caucus, which is a minority caucus of the Democratic Party, which is a minority party in a Republican Congress right now. How can you have an impact on this job picture, the need to create more jobs?
Well, being part of the Progressive Caucus, we think ahead and we think outside the box. So it allows us an opportunity to put forward things that, well, basically are common sense and just stick it out. We listen to the kinds of things that are being shared with us from the other side, and we know that it's not going to work. So we're kind of outspoken folks that are not afraid to, I guess, speak the truth.
But the truth to you is to create jobs. The truth that we hear from the Republicans is to reduce the deficit, and not much said about job creation at all. With them in the majority, how do you get anything done that you want to see done?
Yeah, well, I think one is that we have to explain that the deficit is not about creating jobs or cutting the deficit. It's not about doing it. It's about having a good budget that reflects a composite, comprehensive plan that talks about how you utilize revenue and how you address the needs of this country. And one of them is job creation. And in our budget, the progressive budget, and President Obama had also offered the concept of a bank, infrastructure bank, where we put money in for loans for local governments so that they can proceed with the jobs that they need in the local areas. And our total budget, we talk about pulling out of Afghanistan and Iraq, and that's $1 trillion that doesn't have to be spent in the next 10 years. So we save $1 trillion plus $400 billion on the financing of that trillion. And that's money that we can redirect into the economy and create jobs, white collar, blue collar, and sustainable kinds of jobs too. In Silicon Valley, we're turning around. It's only because we're focused on research and development and creating new green jobs that people can learn to do or people can expand in. So it's not about focusing on what the Tea Party talks about. It's about deflecting and redirecting people's attention.
You're from the 15th Assembly District.
Yes,
that takes in a lot of Silicon Valley.
That's
Do you
correct.
think that area is carrying as much of the load as President Obama seemed to have hoped they would in terms of providing and stimulating the economy?
We're providing quite a bit of stimulus and new jobs. I mean, on my street, I saw a truck that was installing solar panels on a home. And this is becoming more and more evident. What we need to do more of is put more investment in research and development so that we can deploy more of this technology, not only to the other countries, because a lot of the things that we produce are being exported out and not being utilized here. So at the same time, we need to create policies statewide and local where the application of and the utilization of these sustainable energy kinds of gadgets can be implemented and placed into our homes and our daily lives. This will stimulate the kind of activities we want to see.
Are you pleased or disappointed with the rate of growth of these green jobs that we talked about and which many elected officials really look to as a saving grace? And I mentioned the president, but many others shared that same view.
Well, I am disappointed, and I'm sure the president is. It's just that the party in power right now are not willing to look at that, not willing to allow that to happen. They control the committees, and therefore they control the numbers on the floor in terms of the kinds of votes that we need to let this out. That's why we need to let people know that if we were back in charge, we could start moving forward again.
President Obama's promised a jobs package, or at least to talk about it right after the Labor Day. What would you like to see included in that package? What do you think would be helpful for people who support your views and your positions?
Well, I think it's, number one, I think it's really important and timely for President Obama to come out very strong and publicly and saying that he wants to see jobs as issue number one. He's been focused on the war, on financial crisis, both of which he inherited, and now it's time to roll these things out too. And Jan Schakowsky from Chicago's got an emergency jobs creation bill that'll create jobs from public sector like teachers and firefighters and cops, which we really need right now in all sectors of this country. And I think that the kind of infrastructure bank that President Obama wanted to see happen will provide the basis for a lot other infrastructure kinds of jobs.
And my final question is, you were at the hearings. Democrats have been holding these listening sessions all over the country. Are you surprised at the anger and the angst of people when they come out to these meetings to talk to you?
No, I'm not surprised. It just validates the sense of urgency that we have as Democrats or progressives. What does concern me is that they seem to be placing all the blame on the president when the focus should be on the party in charge, and they have not, in 228 days, have not put out one jobs bill in all this time.
Well, your work's cut out for you. California is second highest in the nation now in unemployment, so that puts a big responsibility.
Sure, it really does.
On you as a budget committee member as well as head of the caucus that you head.
Yeah, it's a great challenge out there, but we're also a large state, almost like the eighth largest economy in the world.
Well, thank you so much for stopping in and talking to us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.